Going back on the track, car number 14, Al Holbert, Derek Bell, Al Unser Jr. They made a quick 15, 16-second stop. Of course, it takes a while to whoa and come back up to speed. That single turbo beginning to turn as he comes onto the short straightaway leading to the international turn. He had a lap in 44 seconds as he came on. Foyt, Sullivan, Lyondike. Let's look at that pit stop again as car number 14 made a final foray onto pit road.
He comes in very fast, as you can see. Lane. Comes in, pull-ups at his pit there. The crew all jump on the car, and they don't really do much. I think he must have had some oil on the windscreen, because that's really all they do. They're checking the engine bay fastening. See that guy's just checking the fastening. But obviously Al would have no idea of any problem back there. I think his main problem was just that the windscreen probably got some oil on it, and he didn't want to go rushing into any traffic at this late stage. Only stopped for 15 seconds.
1918 cars left of the 66 that started this event. Record speed being maintained over 105 miles per hour in the last report by the Holbert Bell Unser team. Again, second spot is the Foyt Sullivan team. Jim Busby's car maintaining third, and the first car in the GTO class is now the Lanny Hester car. That is running fourth overall and first in the GTO class. The Jenner car is back in fifth place overall in the race.
Okay.
Here's car number 14 coming up on the banking. This race should end at 3:34 today. That's when they got the flag to start it. 24 hours back. It's 1 lap and 15 seconds, the interval between first and second. So it's a wing and a prayer right now for Al Holbert at number 14.
Well, they're always a wing and a prayer, but it seems pretty sure that Al's going to pull it off, but of course nothing's sure till that old flag drops. It'll be interesting to see how the Busby car gets on catching up with the number 8 car to take second spot.
Curtain coming down in this race. Let's go to Chris Economaki.
Well, there were 71 cars on the entry list for this 24 Hours of Daytona. About 65 took the green flag, and now there are fewer than 20 out on the track. And it makes pit road look like a town that's going downhill. The stores on Main Street are boarded up. Only one open here and there. And the fans, the vandals, you might say, where it goes town, have filled up the pits to get a better look at the action that remains. It's the end of a long, long day for many of the contestants. Back to you.
The average speed is 105.174. The record for this race previously 104.162. That's the record, and they'd covered 703 laps. They're within 5 laps of that distance of 2,500 miles right now. That record was set a year ago by Bob Wallach, A.J. Foyt, Al Unser Jr. Kerry Boutsen was in that team. The second place car, here it is, the Preston Hen car, which has been a story unto itself in the past few years. Twice a winner and then a runner-up here in this 24-hour conclave. And here he is coming back up on the banking another time. Car number 8, the Porsche 962. Team put together by Preston Hen. Did not get off to a big start, but it sure is around at the finish. Car that really came out topside in a hurry was the Dyson number 16. We'll review some of the moments of this race for you a bit later in our coverage today. Car number 8 being chauffeured by A.J. Foyt. They've turned the boost up on it, and they can't do that from inside the car anymore, David. They have to stop and do it.
That's one of the things that I've no doubt Al Holbert will be putting on his management hat and having a bit of a whinge about. It is a problem for the turbocharged cars, because not only can you not turn the boost up, but if anything goes wrong, you can't turn it down either. So this can be a big problem. You can, of course, you can come into the pits and they'll do it for you externally, but a lot of the teams who are used to having a boost control in the car found it difficult in practice in the early part of this
Here
race. Comes
the second place car on pit road. Could be a break for Busby and company, number 67. A correction. Came around this way. I thought he was coming down and slowing for the pit road.
That's that turn 1 complex, which is quite tricky these days. A lot of guardrail there, and it's not very wide.
Let's go to Dave Despain.
You know, Ken, it's fascinating as we watch all of these cars and the greatest gathering of international stars ever to come to this racetrack, to think back a few years when something called IMSA, the International Motorsports Association, really wasn't in a position yet to live up to its name. But a funny thing has happened to IMSA along the way. Bob Varsha has the story.
In less than 2 decades, the International Motorsports Association, IMSA, has grown from a little-known series of 4 races for sports cars into a 10-month coast-to-coast caravan embracing more than 80 races in 7 different classes. In 1986, IMSA's premier series, the Camel Grand Prix, will pay out a record $1.5 million in prize money. The man behind all that growth is John Bishop, who has engineered IMSA's rise with the plain-spoken manner of his native New England.
Well, the plan was to be successful, and we decided to make a place for ourselves with GT racing, and we're glad that it has prospered as it has.
What it took was a simple formula, a race for every taste. Small front-wheel drive sedans, big-engine domestic muscle cars, and the fire-breathing prototypes that attract headlines through sheer power and speed.
Our audience is really, I guess, what they call upscale up there on 3rd Avenue. But, and it is. There's no question on that. So it's an affluent, upscale audience.
Beyond attracting fans, IMSA is attracting racers. For international stars like Belgium's Terry Boutsen, IMSA racing is the world's best.
I mean, there are a lot more cars here than there are in Europe, and the World Championship Series is not the best at the moment. I think IMSA is quite good, and I like to come here personally, and I think everybody enjoys it.
That sentiment is shared by Bruce Levin, who has been a part of IMSA racing from the beginning.
Well, no question, it's a premier road race in the world, road racing series in the world, and John Bishop has done probably, I can't say enough for it, an exceptionally good job.
We don't pretend the Camel GT to be a world championship. It is a U.S. domestic championship, and that's where our business is, so it's where it's going to stay as far as we're concerned.
17 minutes away from IMSA's proudest moment, its most exciting 24 hours ever. Let's go down to pit road and Jerry Garrett.
Well, Dave, the lead car has a fascinating pedigree. It's the third 962 ever made. It's the first 962 ever to win a race. And it was almost destroyed last year at Sears Point. The team decided at the last moment to repair it instead of toss it away, but they sold it a month ago to Jim Truman. Truman drove it around and said, "This car isn't fit. I don't want it. You can have it back." It's leading the race now. Could win it.
I like a story like that.
That's amazing.
Let's go back up topside to Ken Squire.
Well, there you see it, car number 14 continuing to lead. The interval between second and third is now 15 and 4/10 seconds between the Foyt car and the number 67 car. Here's one that's slowing down on course. Number 35, one of the Camel Light cars coming down. David?
I wouldn't want to have Jochen Mass breathing down my neck 15 seconds behind with only 15 minutes to go, because Jochen Mass is one of the best long-distance drivers in the world. Has won many of these sort of races.
Car is from Puerto Rico. That's that Porsche Royale Gonzalez car in Febuary. And that car, running in the Camel Light class, is in second place in the Camel Light for the smaller prototype cars.
That just shows how, until the flag drops, you're never safe. I mean, it looks like their fine run could come to an end.
In the early morning hours on lap 423, this number 14 car coasted to a halt near the chicane. Everyone thought it was over. All hope appeared lost. Driver Al Unser Jr. said they hoped repairs could be completed in time to perhaps finish third or fourth. And here they are. Willie T. Ribbs has rejoined us here as we get down to the final moments of this race. This is as good an endurance race as we've seen, Willie.
This is good. I've been out on the track. In fact, I was late getting to the booth because I've been out scouting. AJ, this is AJ's alley. It's right at the end. AJ's a showman. He likes to turn the crowd on. It's AJ versus Mass for second place right now, right to the finish.
All right, let's find out what is Chris Economaki doing? We haven't heard from him from some time.
Probably tasting wine or something down there.
No, I've been winding up my stopwatch, David, but right now, Jochen Mass has suddenly found some speed in that number 67 car, and he's catching AJ Foyt at the rate of 3 seconds a lap. We may have a Garrison finish for second before this day is out. Back to you.
Now, though I wouldn't want to be AJ being hounded down by Jochen Mass, I wouldn't particularly want to be Jochen Mass trying to get past AJ Foyt with just about 5 minutes left of a 24-hour race either.
AJ has a great car coming back here for the Daytona 500. This event begins Speed Weeks, the Daytona International Speedway. Next Saturday, Buddy Baker says he's going around this 2.5-mile tri-oval in an Oldsmobile at 207 miles an hour. He said that's what it's going to take for the pole. He kind of feels it may be him.
And there's going to be a lot of cars doing between 203 and 207. It's going to be a real bang-up day next Sunday for qualifying.
Here we are with car number 67. This is your third place car. What a story here. Jim Busby just doing a magnificent job with this machine. A little smoke pouring out there.
A little bit of smoke. Also, right on the left front corner in front of the wheel, there's something flapping. I don't know whether the bodywork's coming away. You can't see it so well here, but as you have that head-on shot as it goes down the pit straight here, there's something definitely coming loose in the left front corner.
Again, their second car, being driven by Jan Lammers, crashed. 44-year-old John Morton is part of that team. Busby was telling me, he says, he's the rock center of this team. And he said everybody kind of gathers around him. A lot of the people that are responsible for the car, Bob Kilpatrick not here today, he's watching on television. There's 17 people from the tire company that support it, as well as the 17 that work out there in Laguna, California. And they continue 2 cars for a 19-race series with 17 guys. That's really being efficient.
Well, there we see one of that 17, Jochen Mass, hounding down A.J. Foyt, and we're going to be back with the final coverage of this fantastic 24-hour race from Daytona Beach very shortly after these commercial messages.
Class. That's the Lanny Hester car from Nashville, a Nashville team here. Lee Mueller is involved, Morris Hasse as well. And there you see the standings on GTO. Scott Pruitt teamed with Bruce Jenner, and earlier with Klaus Ludwig maintaining the 2nd position. They've had their problems, transmission and oil leak and so on the 07 car. It's the Hester car living out every man's dream of coming and winning here in this endurance race. And there is a little bit of something for everyone in this event.
Nothing much to me, except being up here with you, Ken, but who could want more than that?
All right, now you're inside with Jochen Mass and the BF Goodrich Porsche 962 as it chugs along here at the finish, trying to close on the number 8, being driven at the present time by A.J. Foyt for 2nd place. And the interval is 6 7/10 of a second between Foyt in 2nd and this Jim Busby car maintaining the 3rd position.
There you see him swing around the International Horseshoe. They probably turned that boost up. Derek Bell smiling to himself as he's got a lap and 50-odd second cushion on that duel coming up for 2nd spot. We've only got, what, just over 9 minutes left of this race.
Remember last year when it was Derek Bell making all the electrical changes? Got himself a Union card down here as he tried to keep the car going, but could not keep it up in front.
He's just done a 6-month electronic course. Didn't need it this year.
Let's go to Chris Economaki.
Okay, yeah.
Chris?
Yes. Okay, I'm going to talk to Derek Warwick about the problems that his co-driver is having in that car with that broken seat. Derek, you look a lot more refreshed now. What's it like in there with the seat the way it is?
Well, he's doing a remarkable job, because when I was in the car, it was just impossible to drive. It was moving about sideways, and it was fully extended, and you just had to go on tiptoe. So, I mean, it's fantastic.
Well, you think he's going to catch him?
For sure. We've got 2nd now.
Okay, Derek Warwick, co-driver car number 67, talking about how it's driving with that broken seat, back topside.